and then it'll be on if I talk it up.
Test, test, 1, 2, 3.
So here we are for the Melbourne Tigers versus Knox Raiders clash on a chilly Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne. I'm Dov, and I'm here with Frank over here.
How you going, guys?
And it's going to be a good encounter, I reckon. We got the Tigers coming in with a 5-5 record, looking to go back over 500, and the Knox Raiders are 6-2, so they're a very strong team. It's going to be a good challenge for the Tigers. And how do you see it playing out today, Frank?
Yeah, it should be interesting. Melbourne Tigers have been doing all right so far for the past couple of weeks. But yeah, it will be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it over here, and we'll be back in a minute with the opening tip.
I can't hear you in the...
Testing?
Yeah, now I can hear. Yeah.
So the players are out on the court now, and we're just about ready to get underway here in this round 8 clash, and we're looking forward to it. And here we go. Here we go. We're ready to start.
You can hear me. You can hear me.
And the opening tip. And Knox hit the ball out of bounds, and it's Tigers' ball. And the Tigers will inbound it and take it up the field through Conti. And she drives right side. Aggressive drive straight away, straight through, and the rebound to the Raiders. And it'll be number 4, Bree Watman, to take the ball up here for the Raiders. And she swings it around. And strong drive and finish.
Great way to get into the paint there.
By Whittle there. It was a strong drive there, Frank, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And here we go with Conti again, bringing the ball up. She brings it over to Matthews. Matthews with the step back jumper and hits it. And the Tigers are on the board, and it's 2-all in early going here. Watman bringing the ball up again here, swings it around to Ott. And here we have it with Whittle again, strong drive. Swings it back out to number 11, Scherf. And Scherf, who's their leading scorer for the Knox Raiders for the year, hits the three-pointer. And she's going to be, the key will be to stop Scherf today, won't it, Frank?
Yeah, she's quite a good scorer from the free ball there.
She definitely is. And Monique Conti gets on the board for the Tigers, and the score is now 5-4. The Raiders lead. Whittle again, swings it out to the corner, and it's a bad miss there by Ott. And Conti brings the ball up again. Oh, it's a turnover, stolen by Whittle. Whittle has Ott streaming with her. Whittle goes herself and can't quite finish, but gets the offensive board. Back out, we've got Watman here for 3, and Watman goes bang, and it's 8 points to 4.
Having a strong start here for the Knox Raiders.
They certainly are, and they'll need to limit. The Tigers will need to limit their turnovers today if they're gonna knock off the Raiders. Matthews, let's go from 3 and hits it. Strong start by Molly Matthews with 5 early points, and it's she's looking really strong here, getting the start here after Jenna O'Hay has left the team. Watman, strong drive out to Ott. Ott into Scherf. Scherf going to work here in the post now. Tomlinson guards her. Great defense by Tomlinson, who gets the block. And, gee, she's a great defender, Frank.
Yeah.
And here we go with Conti driving the ball up again. Conti drives around, swings it back to Matthews, who lets go from 3 again. She's feeling it early. She is hot, and she's got 8 early points. Jeez, what a start by Molly Matthews.
Knox have to do a better job getting her hand up in her face there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she can't miss early, can she? Really feeling it. Tigers tactics right now, get the ball to Molly Matthews.
That's right.
And Ott to inbound the ball for the Raiders. And it is Whittle. Swings it around to number 12. Maddie Wild, who misses the jumper, and Conti to bring the ball up for the Tigers. Into Tomlinson. Tomlinson
great pass.
Back to Conti. Conti, can't quite finish, but gets the offensive board. Great hustle there by Conti. Back into Tomlinson in the post. Back out to Conti. Conti with the step back. 3, bang! Great shot by Monique Conti. And the Tigers lead 13 points to 8. Watman swings the ball around to Ott. Ott to Scherf. Back to Ott. Ott, strong drive here. Oh, great finish by Ott there. And it's 13-10, Tigers lead. Conti brings it up to Bugden. Bugden to Tomlinson. Tomlinson back out to Molly Matthews, who can't miss at the moment, and she has her first miss of the day there. Bit of a heat check. And the Raiders are bringing it up here through Whittle. Oh, turnover there, and Conti's stolen it. Conti drives hard, right up to the bucket and finishes. And it's another 2, and it's 15-10 now, and Conti and Matthews dominating here early. Conti's got 7, Matthews has 8.
And she's been really important for the Tigers in the past few weeks.
She has been. She's having a great season, averaging, I think, 18 points a game.
Yeah.
So,
and she's been really doing well on the free ball there, and to get into the paint and scoring in the paint as well.
yeah, absolutely. And the Tigers will bring the ball in here through Casey Burton, who also has been playing very well the last few weeks.
I think the captain, Lauren.
Luella.
Yeah, Luella. She's been doing really well in the post.
She has been playing great defense as well, averaging over 2 blocks a game. And she's the key today. If she can stop Lauren Shirt, who's an absolute star for the Raiders, the Tigers will go a long way towards winning. And Whittle swings it out to Ott. Ott, strong drive back out to Scherf, swings it from 3, can't hit, and the rebound of Burton. Good defense there by the Tigers. Conti to bring the ball up here. She's been aggressive so far. What will she do here? Gives it off to Tomlinson. Back to Conti. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant 1-5 action. That little 1-2 in the post. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That little 1-2's working wonders there for the Tigers. And Conti's got 9 early points. Tigers take a 7-point lead. And Ott here for the Raiders. Swings it out to Whittle. Whittle from 3. Can't hit. And Bugden with the rebound. Well done. Burton swings it into Matthews. Matthews looking for an option, has the ball in the post, swings it back out to Burton. Burton out to Bugden, back out to Conti. Conti drives around the screen by Tomlinson, back to Tomlinson. Pump fake, mid-range jumper, bang!
Finish.
And the Raiders,
off to a great start.
Yeah, great start. Raiders have caught a timeout, 19-10 lead to the Tigers. They lead by 9 here in the early going.
Testing. Yeah.
And here we are, ready to resume after the timeout with the Tigers. 9-point lead in the early going, and it's been a great start, Frank.
Yeah, Tigers are doing really well here. Getting into the paint, making good passes.
Scherf here as the Raiders take the ball in to start.
Down low.
Yep, got in the post, turns around, and...
Yeah, what a finish.
And one.
Well, yeah.
Great finish.
Basket counts, Lauren Scherf, 2 points.
Looks like she's going to be a challenge for the Tigers in this game here.
She definitely is. She's a supreme scorer. And I thought Tomlinson played that pretty well. Maybe a bit unlucky to get called for the foul there, but it's a great finish. And she has the chance here to go for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
3 points on the play.
And she hits the free throw. And Conti now to take the ball up. Up to Tomlinson on the 3-point line. Swings it back around to Conti. Out to Molly Matthews. High ball to Tomlinson. And there's a foul called. And it'll be sideline ball to the Tigers. I think the foul was called on number 21, Marina Whittle, which is her first foul. And Burton inbounds the ball to Conti. Conti back to Burton. Burton looking for Tomlinson in the post. Tomlinson's got it. She's double teamed. And it's a steal by Whittle. And Wirang brings the ball up to Watman. Watman finishes. And they've narrowed the lead to 4 points now, the Raiders. Bugden back up to Matthews. Matthews to Burton. To Tomlinson in the post.
Got the double team going on there.
They certainly have, trying to trap Tomlinson, and they forced another steal here through Whittle. Second steal in a row. Wirang, ooh. And the Raiders will maintain the ball. with Dawson there fighting hard for it. Wirrang to inbound the ball, gets it off to Scherf. Scherf for 3, short again, and Conti with the rebound. Swings it around to Molly Matthews, back to Conti. Out to Bugden, to Tomlinson. Good passing, good ball movement by the Tigers. Tomlinson, great spin move. Pass is deflected. Burden with the short mid-range jumper, can't hit, and Whittle gets the rebound for the Raiders. Up to Abby Wirrang, who goes bang from 3, and it's narrowed the Tigers' lead to 1 point, and the Tigers have called a timeout with the lead down to 1. 8-0 run out of the timeout there for the Raiders, and the Tigers will look to talk it over.
I think the Knox went down to a zone out of the timeout.
Yeah, and it definitely looked to help, didn't it? They forced, I think, 2 or 3 turnovers in a row there. Double teaming Tomlinson has been a good tactic for them so far, so she'll need to get the ball out of the double team a bit quicker, I think, to make use of the extra player
for sure
that the Tigers will have. And we're back here out of the timeout. The Tigers' lead has been narrowed a little bit there, and they'll need to try and take a little bit better care of the ball here out of the timeout. Althea Angeles has checked into the game for the Tigers, and we'll see what she can do off the bench. Conti with the ball, his strong drive out to Tomlinson. Tomlinson looking for an option. Swings it out to Angeles, back to Conti in the corner. Conti for 3 out of the corner. Oh, well. Got it!
And she's having a great start for the Tigers, yeah.
She really is. 12 points in the first quarter here. What a start by Conti. Strong drive by Wirrang. Back out to number 7, Lucy Dawson, who hits her first bucket for the day. And Conti drives the ball back up to Angeles on the 3-point arc. Back out to Conti. Swings it around to Casey Burden. Casey Burden unleashes from 3. Can't quite hit. Angeles, good rebound there. Back out to Tomlinson. Tomlinson. Back out to Angeles. Just slows it down. Angeles can't quite handle it there. And the Raiders force another turnover. And it's brought up by Watman. Swings it around to Scherf. Scherf out to Wirrang, who hit a 3 just minutes ago. Goes for another one. Can't quite hit this time, and Matthews does well on the rebound to tap it to Tomlinson. Conti drives hard through the lane. Oh, can't quite finish there. Good defense by the Raiders, and Scherf with the rebound. Out to Watman. Watman out to Whittle. Whittle, strong drive, and draws the foul, and she'll head to the line for 2. And Luella Tomlinson draws her second foul. And Whittle will go to the line looking for points number 3 and 4. And she misses the first. A little bit short there. And Whittle misses both free throws. Strong rebound there by Casey Burden. And Althea Angeles here will take the ball up for the Tigers. Over to Molly Matthews. Matthews swings it around the 3-point line to Burden. Burden over to Conti. Conti drives, swings to Tomlinson at the mid-range. Swings it back out to Molly Matthews, who had that hot start. Can't quite hit that one. And Whittle battles for the rebound for the Raiders and secures it. And now Watman to bring the ball up for the Raiders. She swings the ball around to Santamaggio. Santamaggio into Scherf. Scherf, banker, can't quite hit it. And Monique Conti will bring the ball up off the Molly Matthews rebound. Swings it around to Angeles. Angeles, bit of a crossover, step back. Gets it over to Matthews, and the foul is called on Lauren Scherf. And the Tigers will have the ball at the sideline. And Brianna Gray, the American import, has checked into the game for the Tigers. She has been able to provide a spark in a number of games this year for the Tigers, and let's see what she can do.
That's right, Dov. She has been pretty good for the past couple of weeks.
She has, and she brings the ball in there to Burden, back to Gray, out to Tomlinson, Tomlinson out to Angeles. Angeles back out to Conti. Conti, oh, great crossover, step back from three, bang! She is on fire, 15 points here in the first quarter. What a start by Monique Conti. Watman brings the ball up to Dawson there. Dawson swings around the screen, goes for the mid-range jumper, can't quite hit. Ooh, and it's a jump ball, great effort there by Brianna Gray to come around the back of the taller Whittle to force a jump ball, but the Raiders will maintain the ball. And Watman swings the ball in to number 12, Wild out to Whittle. Whittle, strong drive, swings it out, back out to Watman. Watman for three, can't hit it. And the rebound by Burden, there's 3 seconds left. Can she get a shot up? Drives, swings it from three. Oh, good effort. And the Tigers take a 5-point lead into the quarter-time break with Monique Conti, 15 points in the first quarter. What a start for her.
Yeah, it's been pretty competitive for both sides here.
Yeah, it has. It's been a very strong... And look, the Tigers would be happy with their start. The Raiders are a very, very strong team, and they would be very, very happy with that start.
Ready, spaghetti, go! Lay up. Cheer 'em up.
And heading into the second quarter, Tigers have a 5-point lead.
And Monique Conti to start with the ball. Swings it around to Brianna Gray. Jump stop in the middle, out to Angeles. Angeles from three, hits it, and the Tigers take an 8-point lead.
Angeles, 3 points. Let's go Tigers. Defect.
And Watman to bring the ball up for the Raiders. Brings it around to Whittle. Whittle takes the Scherf screen, swings into the mid-range jumper and hits it. Whittle has 4 points now. And Conti to bring the ball up, swings it around to Casey Burden, gets it into Luella Tomlinson in the post. Looking for her point guard in Conti. Conti well covered there. Tomlinson, strong drive in the post, swings back around, fade away, can't quite hit it. Good defense from Scherf. And the rebound to Wild. And Watman brings the ball up here for the Raiders. Guarded closely by Angeles, swings it around to Whittle. Scherf comes to set the screen. Whittle swings around it, Swings back out to Scherf, who has ducked out to the 3. Strong drive, and it's a blocking foul called on Brianna Gray. Looked like a charge to me, but
yeah, good help defense to get there in the first place.
Absolutely, did well. I thought she was set, but guess she was still moving, and they've called the blocking foul. And Scherf will go to the line to look for points 7 and 8. And Scherf hits the first to put the lead within 5. Done a pretty good job so far on Scherf, Tigers. She hits the second, and the lead's down to 4 points now. And Monique Conti will bring the ball up, swings it around to Angeles. Angeles, strong drive, out to Burden at the 3-point line, back out to Brianna Gray. Gray, out to Conti, and ducks in to the key. Back out to Burden here, Burden from 3 to Tomlinson in the post. Tomlinson will go to work here. Finds Conti, great pass. Conti in the key, and Conti now has 17 points. Her unbelievable start to this game continues.
The Tigers are doing a really good job at breaking down their press, going into the zone.
They definitely are.
Finding the gaps.
Dawson, great pass there into number 5, Santamaggio, and she gets her first points of the afternoon. And Gray now with the ball on the 3-point line for the Tigers, looking for an option. Out to Tomlinson for the mid-range jumper, can't quite hit. Angeles battles hard, but Santamaggio is able to gather the rebound. And Conti almost forces the turnover there, but they hold on to it here, the Raiders. Watman has the ball at the 3-point line, looking to find a gap finds a gap, brings it out to Whittle on 3. Whittle from 3, Whittle hits it. Yep. Great start to the second quarter for Marina Whittle, who now has 7 points. Casey Burden here with the ball. Drives through the double team. Strong drive, great for the mid-ranger. Hits it. Well done by Burden to break down the defense there and find Brianna Gray. Gets her first points of the afternoon. Watman out to Whittle, who's had a great start to the quarter. Back out to Watman. Watman drives past using the Scherf screen. Looking for an option here. Gets it to Whittle again. Whittle from 3. She's feeling it. Can't hit that one. And Tomlinson secures the rebound. Off to Conti. Conti on the drive. Looking to be aggressive. Tries to swing it around to Angeles, but it's deflected and stolen by the Raiders. And Watman brings the ball up for the Raiders. Swings it in to Wild in the post, who hits the bucket. And it's a 1-point lead to the Tigers. And Brown Gray here, looking for an option, finds Tomlinson. Tomlinson double teamed here and manages to tap it to Angeles. Brilliantly done by Luella Tomlinson.
She's everywhere.
And Angeles now has 5 points as the Tigers lead back out to 3. And Scherf with the mid-range jumper, well contested by Tomlinson, and she misses. And the ball is out there off Brianna Gray, contesting for the rebound, and it will be Knox ball. Molly Matthews and Katie Buggs in here to check into the game for the Tigers as Althea Angeles and Luella Tomlinson for the first time gets a rest. And the Raiders here to inbound the ball through number 9, Beck Ott, who's just checked back in. And she brings it out to Watman. Watman swings it into Scherf in the post, defended by Burden. Can't hit the jumper, well defended there by Burden. And Molly Matthews with the rebound. To Conti. Conti out to Burden on the 3. Burden swings it back out to Gray. Gray to Bugden on the 3-point line. Bugden tries to find an opening and the turnover's forced. And Ott drives the ball strong up the key and finishes with the left hand. And the margin is back down to 1. Conti to Bugden. Bugden out to Gray. Gray looking for an option. Bugden. Gray open from 3. Unleashes and is a bit short on the jumper. And Watman swings it down to Ott, who finishes and the Raiders take the lead. So
really
the Tigers
push it now, the Raiders.
They are, and they're forcing a lot of turnovers from the Tigers, and they'll need to really cut down on turnovers here, the Tigers. They've just got to be a bit more careful with protecting the ball. And Conti trying to use the Matthews screen. Swings it back around to Burden. Burden back to Conti in the corner. Conti for 3. Can't quite hit it. And Whittle secures the rebound for the Raiders. She drives hard. Aggressive move from Whittle. Out to Watman. Watman from 3. Hits the jumper. And it's a 4-point lead now for the Raiders as they're really starting to assert themselves in this game. And the Tigers call timeout to talk things over. And we're back here after the timeout with the Tigers to inbound the ball. Looking to kind of reassert themselves in this game after going on a bit of a scoring drought the last few minutes. And let's see what they can do. Katie Bugden, strong drive and great finish.
Spin move there.
It was, and she's got herself on the board. And Watman now to bring the ball up for the Raiders looking to respond. Conti, aggressive defense
right
here.
Up.
Ott has the ball on the 3-point line, drives to her left, back out to Watman. Watman drives, swings it back out to Wild. Wild from 3, hits the bucket, and it's back to 5-point lead for the Raiders. Casey Burden to bring the ball up, gets it out to Katie Bugden. Oh, she's blocked, gets it back, swings it out to Molly Matthews, out to Casey Burden. Burden from 3, can't quite hit it, but Molly Matthews gets another offensive board. Ooh. Great look on the pass, but it's stolen by the Raiders. And Watman out to Whittle. Whittle hits the layup, and it's 7 points now, the lead to the Raiders.
Tigers are really struggling to find the answer.
They are just struggling to find avenues to the bucket, and their shooting's gone a bit cold. They started very hot, and they just need to see what they can do here. Monique Conti, oh, jeez. She's single-handedly keeping them in this game now.
Yeah.
19 points in the half so far.
Oh, definitely. She's doing really well. Keeping him in this game.
And Beckott now with the ball for the Raiders. Need to get a stop here, the Tigers. Watman, the ball from 3, goes around the Scherf screen, swings it back into Scherf. Good defense by Tomlinson, but Scherf just too good. And gets the finish. And Burden to bring the ball up here for the Tigers. Swings it back around to Molly Matthews. Matthews out to Conti. Conti swings it around to Bugden. Bugden and Tomlinson in the post. Oh, tries to find it back to Bugden, but it's another steal for the Raiders. Ott keeps the ball to herself, goes for the layup and hits it. And the Tigers just keep turning the ball over, and it's hurting them. 9-point lead now to the Raiders. Conti to bring the ball up. Need a bucket here. Matthews. Out to Burden. Burden. Into Tomlinson on the post. Tomlinson back out to Burden from 3. Burden from 3. Can't hit again. And the Raiders secure the rebound through Scherf. Watman. Oh, loses the ball, and Bugden steals it. Bugden, aggressive drive, tries to find Conti, and another turnover for the Tigers. They just are not taking care of the ball here, and it's really hurting them. They just need to be a bit smarter with their passes. And Whittle here.
I think they just need to slow things down and start to get their rhythm back.
Absolutely. I mean, they're just forcing passes at the moment that aren't really there, and it's hurting them. So they just need to take better care of the ball and really make sure of their passes right now.
And the Raiders are enjoying this fast-paced game style at the moment. It's really working in their favour.
Definitely is. Molly Matthews with the drive. Can't quite finish with the floater. Tomlinson trying to force her way to the bucket. Can't score, and the ball is out off Tomlinson. And Althea Angeles will check in for Molly Matthews for the Tigers. And 3 Raiders will check in. Number 6, Rachel Quirk for the first time today. Abby Werung back in the game, And the other one was Lucy Dawson, number 7. And here is Wirrung bringing up the ball. Good effort by Conti.
Defense.
Conti with the steal. Well done, Monique Conti, who forces the steal and the jump ball, but it will be maintained by the Raiders. Great defense though by Conti. And they're double teaming Wirrung on the inbound pass. Whittle with the ball. Strong drive straight into Bugden. Offensive foul. Well done by Katie Bugden. Great defense. And
The Tigers are going to definitely need more of that throughout this game.
absolutely. That's the kind of hustle they're going to need to get themselves back in this. Casey Burden inbounds the ball to Angeles. Angeles out to Monique Conti. Conti to Tomlinson. Tomlinson swings it around to Bugden. Bugden to Conti. Conti for 3 from the corner. Can't hit. And Wirrung with the rebound. Looking to push the pace here. Swings it around to Lucy Dawson. Lucy Dawson into Lauren Scherf, who
She's
is
doing
starting
really well.
to dominate here. She's up to 12 points now, and she's really starting to assert herself in this game.
They're going to have to find something to stop her.
They definitely are. Angeles, Tomlinson for 3, can't hit. And she's been struggling a little bit here, Tomlinson. Only 2 points so far, and struggling to get her post-game going and probably forcing a few jump shots that she wouldn't normally take, but they're going to need her to get going, the Tigers, if they're going to be a chance in this game. And that's a foul on the sideline on, I think it's on Monique Conti, but I am not sure. I think it was a reaching foul. And it will be Rachel Quirk to inbound the ball for the Raiders with 50 seconds left here in the half. Need to stop here, the Tigers. Can't afford to leak any more buckets here in this quarter. Brings it in to number 13, Wirrung, who gets her own rebound. Conti gets the steal, though, and she drives the pace. Wirrung sneaking up behind her like a librarian. And Conti back out to the three-point line. Casey Burden from 3. Can't hit. She's just a bit off today, Casey Burden. Hasn't scored yet, and
She needs to just get that one in and
that's
start
it.
get her going.
Normally a strong three-point shooter, but just struggling today so far. But there was a foul, I think, on not sure what the foul was on. I think they just maintained the ball maybe from the jump ball there, the Tigers, because the Raiders had the last one. Bugden swims around to Angeles. Angeles doesn't take the open 3, drives back to Bugden, back to Conti, swings it around to Casey Burden, drives to a left,
Baseline.
swings it around baseline to Angeles. Angeles steps in, takes the mid-range jumper, and can't hit. And geez, the Tigers cannot get a bucket to fall at the moment. It's like there's a lid over the bucket.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to start to look at being more aggressive, getting into the paint, finding buckets that way.
Yeah,
Because the free balls aren't just falling at the moment.
No, they certainly aren't. And there's 12 seconds left here for the Raiders to look for a bucket to extend their lead. And Wirrung has the ball. Conti guards her. An offensive foul, moving screen on Lauren Scherf, who picks up her second. Good defense by Monique Conti, and there's 8 seconds left. Can the Tigers get a bucket here just to give them some sort of momentum to go into the second half? Burden inbounds the ball to Conti. Here we go. Conti drives behind the Tomlinson screen. Swings it around to Burden. Burden for 3. Can't hit again. And really struggling here, Casey Burden.
Bit of a tough half for the Tigers.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had a great start. You know, their first quarter was phenomenal. They had Molly Matthews on fire early, you know, Monique Conti. And Conti really kept going. I mean, she's got 19 points for the half, but some of their usual scorers, Tigers, are really struggling. Luella Tomlinson, only 2 points in the first half, picked up 2 fouls as well. And Casey Burden hasn't even hit the scoreboard. So they're really struggling to score. And additionally, the turnovers are really hurting them, aren't they, James?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, you're right.
Jeez, don't know why I said James there. It was a chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, look, I definitely think coming the next half, they're going to look to be more aggressive. You know, try to draw some fouls, get something to go. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, and we'll be back with you shortly to get started on the second half and see if the Tigers can make some sort of comeback. And we're about to get underway here in the second half in this encounter between the Tigers and the Raiders. Tigers coming into the second half after a strong start, down 13 points. The Raiders obviously are a great team. So what do you think the keys here are, Frank, for the Tigers if they're going to be able to come back in this game?
Well, yeah, look, I definitely, as I was saying before, they've got to be more aggressive, stop looking for always, the free ball, and just try to get into the paint, create passes for open players, and yeah, I just think just be more aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. I think for them to score more, if the threes are not dropping, they've got to find more ways, and they've got to find ways to get Tomlinson into the game.
Yeah, 100%.
She's only had 2 points in the half, and if they're going to be any chance, she needs to really get going in this half. So they've got to find her, she's deeper in the paint. They've got to get the ball to her, get her confidence up, get her going. And additionally, they've just got to cut down on the turnovers. Too many times they're throwing iffy passes, which are giving the Raiders so many fast break opportunities, and they really took advantage of that quarter.
Yeah.
So let's see. And additionally, if they get the ball to Tomlinson, it could also put Scherf in foul trouble. So
that's right.
If they can try, she's already on 2 fouls. They can try and get her a few more fouls. So, it's definitely going to help the Tigers. So
sure, 100%.
Let's see what they do coming out here. The Raiders will start with the ball in the second half.
Voice in the crowd. Tigers fans, get back into this match, get them over the line. Let's go Tigers! Defense!
And Whittle's got the ball out to Ott. Ott drives around the wild screen. Back out to Whittle. Whittle drives right. He's left open for a mid-range jumper. Can't quite hit, but Scherf secures the rebound. Goes back up with the hook and hits it. She is a handful, is she not? And Monique Conti with the ball for the Tigers. Need some buckets here early. Need to get their confidence up. Burden looking for an option. Swings it around to Conti. Swings it back out to Molly Matthews, who unleashes from 3. And
gets it to go.
She banks it in, but we'll take it.
Yeah, they'll take it 100% for sure.
I think they'll take whatever they can get at the moment, the Tigers. And Whittle brings the ball up. Swings it around to Ott. Ott back to Whittle. Whittle drives to the left. Strong drive and is fouled by Katie Bugden. And we'll go to the line for 2.
Katie Bugden picks up her first personal foul.
And yeah, the Tigers have got to do a better job on not letting her get that far into the paint there. Get more help there.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's been playing well.
Yeah, she's doing
Marina
really
Whittle,
good.
she's having a great game. She's looking for points 12 and 13. She's been very strong all afternoon. And she hits the first. And she misses the second, but she's almost able to secure her own rebound, but can't quite. And the Tigers will gain possession here. Molly Matthews to inbound. Gives it over to Katie Bugden, who swings it around to Monique Conti. Monique Conti looking to build on that brilliant first half. Out to Molly Matthews. Matthews out to Burden. Back out to Matthews, back to Burden, back to Matthews. Matthews from 3, airballs it. And it is Raiders ball. And Watman brings the ball in to Whittle.
Double team going on.
Whittle getting double team, but she just breezes past them. Geez, she looks great out there. Marina Whittle having a great game. Swings it around to Ott. Ott swings it back in a wild for the mid-range jumper. Can't quite hit, but we have a loose ball foul on, I'm not sure who. It's going against the Raiders. On Lauren Scherf. That's her 3rd foul, so good for the Tigers. And Scherf will sub out, which is good news for the Tigers. And maybe they can take some advantage here and get Tomlinson going with Scherf off. And Bugden with the Euro step. Can't quite finish, but hustles to get her own rebound. Looking for an option back out of Tomlinson. Tomlinson out to Conti, wide open for a 3. Can she hit this? She can. And that's a big bucket for the Tigers. 10-point margin. Conti now has 22 points. Good find there by Luella Tomlinson. And Marina Whittle with the ball here. Dawson looking to set the screen. Whittle rejects the screen. Drives in. Swings it around to Wild, who can't finish. Good defense by the Tigers, but they're able to secure the offensive board. And Watman with the ball, guarded closely by Conti. Watman drives around using the wild screen out to Lucy Dawson for 3, and she can't hit, gets her own rebound, and finally the Tigers get the ball after a couple of good defensive efforts.
A bit of a run now.
Conti drives the ball in, goes to the mid-range jumper and hits it. She just continues on her merry way, and the lead is now down to 8 points. Ott swings it around to Watman. Watman drives around the Wild screen, back to Wild. Wild for the mid-range jumper, can't hit. And Tomlinson secures the rebound to Conti. Conti with the handles around the back. Into Bugden, who drives right into the bucket and hits it. And the margin's down to 6 points. Here come the Tigers. Ever since Lauren Scherf's gone off, the game's changed, has it not?
Yeah. And Conti's really stepped it up for them in this half.
She's having an unbelievable game. 24 points early. Whittle with the mid-range jumper, can't hit, and Molly Matthews almost had the rebound, but Whittle gets up behind her, gets it back, and Conti secures the rebound off the Watman miss. Conti driving, gives it off to Molly Matthews, who can't quite finish. But good hustle here in the defensive end. And Conti and Whittle brings it out to Ott. Ott drives in strong, gets out to Dawson for the mid-range jumper, can't hit. And Tomlinson secures the rebound, but it's stolen by Wild. Oh, great block by Tomlinson. But Dawson is able to get the ball again. They need to really cut down on the offensive boards here by the Raiders. The Tigers just need to stop them. Whittle for 3, and they secure this rebound through Casey Burden. And a great start to the half here for the Tigers, but they just need to secure the rebounds. Conti over to Molly Matthews, looking at continue to narrow down the lead. Bugden steps in for the mid-range jumper, and it's short, but the ball will come back out, and Tigers will retain it. And number 13, Abby Wirang, is coming in for Maddie Wild.
And the Raiders are trying to find a way now to stop this run by the Tigers.
They certainly are. Bugden here with the ball, back out to Conti. Conti, nice little drive through. Oh, no, turnover. Turnover to Ott. Ott's got the steal. She's driving towards the bucket, and easy layup. And that's what we were talking about, cutting down on those turnovers. And another one hurts them there, the Tigers. Burden with the ball. Just as they were getting a run too. Molly Matthews, another turnover, another sloppy pass by the Tigers. And Ott swings it around to Watman. Back out to Whittle. Whittle for 3, and it's back out to 11 points. And the Tigers were able to narrow the lead to 6 points, but 2 turnovers in a row have given the lead back out, made the lead back out to 11. I mean, that's the game right now, the turnovers. The Tigers just can't stop turning the ball over, and it's really, really hurting them.
And Marina Whittle, she's having a pretty incredible game right now.
She is up to 15 points, and you know, the Tigers are their own worst enemy at the moment because they've come out and they're playing a great quarter of basketball. They're playing good defense. But the 2 things hurting them are they're not securing offensive rebounds, they're not being strong enough with the rebounds, and they're turning the ball over. And those are things they're things you can control. That's all about effort and you know, and attitude, and you know, they're shooting themselves in the foot, the Tigers, because they could definitely be in front of this game if not for those 2 key factors.
Definitely agree.
Absolutely. And we'll be back in a minute after the timeout. And back after the timeout here, the Tigers will inbound the ball with Monique Conti bringing the ball up for the Tigers. Let's see if they can, again, put on another run and limit the turnovers. And just as I say that, they turn the ball over again. And there's a foul called on Casey Burden.
It's an 11-point game, so they've definitely got time to make a change and get back into this one, heading into the 4th quarter.
Yes, they certainly do. There's plenty of time left. They just need to take care and control the controllables. And Watman bought a Scuba Angeles, and it's a Oh, it's a reach-in foul. Looked like a... sorry, it's a jump ball. Looked like a reach-in foul to me, but the Tigers will retain the ball regardless. And here we go with Conti bringing the ball up for the Tigers. She swings it around to Bugden. Bugden to Tomlinson in the post. Tomlinson can go to work here. Turns around and can't hit. She just can't buy a bucket today, Luella Tomlinson. And Whittle drives the ball strong down the lane with the Euro step. Can't quite finish, and Tomlinson gets the rebound and swings it over to Conti. Conti drives the ball in. Looks for that mid-range jumper and hits it. Jeez, if not for Monique Conti, where would the Tigers be?
Different game right now.
26 points. Absolutely. Single-handedly. Not getting enough help, unfortunately, at the moment. And Whittle swings it back in there to Ruenk. Oh, well done by Tomlinson. Active hands. And Angeles gets the ball out to Conti. Conti on the three-point line. Gives it over to Casey Burden in the corner. Burden back out to Conti. Conti to Angeles. Angeles to Bugden. Bugden to Tomlinson in the post. Back out to Conti. Wide open from three. Oh, great chance there to narrow the lead to 6 points, but Conti can't quite hit that one. But great ball movement by the Tigers, and that's what they need more of. And Watman got the ball here for the Raiders. Dawson looked like a travel to me, but a missed call, I think. And Whittle draws the foul on Bugden. It'll be Bugden's second foul.
She's just unstoppable at the moment.
Yeah, she really is. She just got her mind made up, and she's just driving every single time she can, and she's playing great basketball. And the ball is inbounded by Werung, out to Whittle, out to Lucy Dawson. Back out to Ott. Ott drives in, active hands there, but Werung still gets the ball, goes for the mid-range jumper, can't quite hit. Conti, strong rebound. No, it's stolen by Ott. Good defense by Casey Burden. Werung's got the ball again. Again, another offensive board for the Raiders. Watman out to Dawson. Dawson for three and hits the side of the backboard. And great defensive sequence by the Tigers. Burden brings the ball to Bugden. Bugden for the mid-range jumper. Got it. Big bucket by Katie Bugden. And the lead's back down to 7. Here we go again. Tigers, can they secure the rebound and take control of their turnovers? Those are the keys here, and that's what they need. Ott from three. It's too easy. That's too easy. Wide open.
Seems like every time Tigers get there, get close, the Raiders come back and hit them with another one.
Correct, and it's an 11-point lead now for the Raiders. Conti out to Bugden. Tomlinson double teamed here in the post, swings it around. Turnover, and Werung will get the ball. Werung drives the ball up strong, out to Watman. Watman on the three-point line. Drives in strong, swings the ball back out to Dawson. Dawson out to Whittle. Whittle again drives hard, can't finish. Good defense. And Dawson can't finish either. Great defense by Tomlinson, and she secures the rebound. Conti, they've got a 2-on-1 here. What can they do? Angeles with the finish. Well done. Perfectly played, 2-on-1. And it's an 8-point lead, and Angeles now has 7 points off the bench, provided a spark. And Watman got the ball out to... Oh, and the... strong drive by Werung, and the foul is called on Monique Conti.
Monique Conti, third personal foul, fourth team foul for the quarter.
Just to put things into perspective, the Tigers have had 14 turnovers to the Raiders 7, and that's really...
That's the difference of what wins games.
Yeah, that's it. That's the day. Exactly. Absolutely. You just can't be giving away that many turnovers. Good rebound here by Burden. And there's a foul called on number 9, Rebecca Ott, who picks up her first. And the Tigers, again, have a chance to narrow the lead here. Angeles to bring the ball up, as Monique Conti takes her first rest of the game in the third quarter. And Tomlinson to Bugden. Tough contested attempt there. And Ott drives the ball up strong and can't finish. Good defense by Burden. But Whittle continues her strong game, gets the offensive board. And now has 17 points. 12th offensive board there for the Raiders. Tomlinson's got the ball in the post. Drive strong. Fadeaway. Jumper can't hit. Just can't hit a bucket today. It's just one of those days for Luella Tomlinson. And Watman brings the ball up for the Raiders. Raiders swings the ball around to Whittle. Whittle takes the screen set by Quirk. Watman, strong drive, out to Ott. Ott for another three. Oh, she's starting to really light up here. Yep. Rebecca Ott, she's now got 16 points. And the lead's back at 13 points. Absolutely. Great. Out to Burden. Burden to Tomlinson. Tomlinson in the post. Drives back into the post. And draws the foul. And she'll go to the line. She's been working hard today, Tomlinson. Yeah, they've really made her earn her buckets, and she's only got 2, but she'll go to the line here now for a chance to get 3 points, 3 and 4, and narrow the lead back down to 11 points. They've really defended her well, double-teamed her a lot, and really have not given her any easy buckets. And she hits the first. She has still managed to secure 8 rebounds, had 4 assists, and had a block. So she's finding other ways to impact the game, but they do need her to score more. Well, she manages to hit both free throws. The lead's back down to 11, and she's got 4 points now. Watman brings the ball up for the Raiders. Ott, strong drive, swings it out to Dawson for a wide open 3. She can't hit though, and Angeles secures the rebound for the Tigers. And 18 seconds left here. Tigers looking for the last bucket of the term. Shot clock is still on, I think. Bugden, no, I think it's off actually. Bugden can't hit the 3, and the foul is called on Angeles. And the Raiders will have the ball with just under 6 seconds left, with a chance to further their lead in the last few seconds here of the third term. And they'll actually get free throws as they're in the bonus. And it'll be Whittle, who is the leading scorer for the Raiders with 17 points. And she misses her first free throw. She has had a bit of trouble from the line today. That's probably been the only blemish on her game. You know, she's got 17 rebounds, 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. She's really having a wonderful game. She had 2 three-pointers, but she is 2 from 5 from the free throw line. And Angeli's here driving strong. It's given one last chance at a bucket, and she can't hit it. And it'll be a 12-point lead heading into the last term. So, look, Tigers did play a good quarter, and they won the quarter by a point. But unfortunately, turnovers hurt them. They could be closer if not for turnovers. But they did play well in that quarter. Unfortunately, they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, but it's still only 12 points and anything can happen.
They can get into the fourth quarter and reduce their turnovers and have a strong start. They can have a chance of getting back into this one. And
Absolutely.
I think Conti is definitely going to be a key, as she's having a pretty great game for the Tigers.
She certainly is. And we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes for the fourth term. And here we are, the start of the 4th term, with Watman bringing the ball up for the Raiders. Scherf back in the game for the Raiders as well. Whittle, who's had a fantastic 3rd quarter, goes for the mid-range jumper off the crossover. Can't score. Scherf gets the rebound and she's fouled. Offensive boards are hurting the Tigers significantly.
Yeah, that's right. That's been a big letdown for them as well. Definitely on the rebounds.
It certainly has.
2 shots on the line here. Lauren Scherf.
And Scherf will look for points number 15 and 16 here at the line. And she hits the first to put the lead back out to 13 points. And she hits the second, and the lead's out to 14 points now. Katie Bugden to bring the ball up here for the Tigers. Drives deep into the lane, goes a layup, can't quite finish, and Watman gets the board out to Whittle for the Raiders here. Swings the ball around to Quirk. Quirk for the jumper, can't quite finish. And Gray with the rebound to Burden. Burden back out to Monique Conti. Conti back, swings it back around to Burden to Bugden. And the ball is tipped out off Whittle, and the Tigers will retain the ball. Need some buckets here, the Tigers. Gray brings it into Conti. Conti drives into a mid-range jumper, can't quite finish that time. Burden is able to secure the rebound though. And back out to Conti. And Tomlinson comes up to set the screen. Conti swings it around to Katie Bugden. Bugden, strong drive, can't quite finish, and Scherf secures the rebound. And Watman bringing the ball up for the Raiders. Whittle with the ball here, defended by Bugden. Swings it around to Scherf in the post. Scherf back out to Watman. Watman for 3, can't hit it. But another offensive board to the Raiders through Scherf. Whittle with a mid-range jumper, bang.
I think the Tigers may need to go to some half-court press to force some turnovers for the Raiders here, because they're not struggling to find an answer here.
Yeah, they definitely are. And Burden in the post here. Back around to Gray. Gray out to Bugden. Bugden back out to Tomlinson. Tomlinson for the mid-range jumper. Well off. Defended well by Scherf. And Watman with the board. Long to Scherf, or a bit too long, and it goes out of bounds. And Gray to inbound the ball to Burden. Burden back to Gray. Gray to Conti. Conti drives in strong, pulls up for the mid-range jumper and can't quite hit. So even Monique Conti's gone a bit cold.
Yeah.
And
definitely struggling, the Tigers.
Yep, leads out to 16 points here. Whittle. Oh, great defense, and it's an offensive foul. Well done by Casey Burden.
Number 21, Maria Whittle.
And Katie Bungton will inbound the ball. To Gray. Gray to Conti. Need some quick buckets here, the Tigers, if they're going to be any sort of chance to mount any sort of comeback. And Conti drives around the screen by Burden. Swings it back out to Casey Burden. Back to Conti. Deep 3. Can't hit it. And she's forcing him a little bit now, but you can understand the Tigers are struggling. She's got 26 points. She's trying to bring her team back into the game, but
try to get a spark back for them.
Yeah, exactly. But they just don't have any answers at the moment, the Tigers. And it's another bucket to Rebecca Ott, who is now up to 18 points. Having a great second half. Conti drives it, swings it back out to Burden. Burden. Well, it'd be good for her to see that ball go through the hoop there, Casey Burden, even if it is...
sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
The ball go through the hole.
Molly Matthews, who's the Tigers' second leading scorer today with 11, after that hot start, scoring 8 early points in the first quarter, is back into the game. See if she can provide some sort of spark for the Tigers. And Burden inbounds the ball to Conti. Molly Matthews sets the screen. Conti swings it back around to Burden. Burden to Gray. Gray to Tomlinson. Tomlinson in the post. Back around to Conti. Conti with that mid-range jumper. Can't hit again. And Gray secures the rebound almost, but no. But Tomlinson is able to get it. And what can they do here, the Tigers? Really just struggling to find buckets.
Yeah,
Conti.
they need to get the ball moving more, try to find some open players. But Conti definitely...
Well done. There we go. That's it. A bit more aggressive. Gets to the bucket and gets points 27 and 28. Much needed bucket there for the Tigers. That was a bit better. They need a bit more ball movement. Watman out to Whittle. Whittle to Scherf. Scherf to Ott. Ott drives strong and finishes with the right hand. Geez, she's been a handful in this second half. What a great game she's having. And Brianna Gray brings the ball up for the Tigers. Out to Casey Burden. Into Tomlinson in the post. He drives strong and gets fouled on the reverse. And she'll go back to the line, looking for points 5 and 6.
Lauren Scherf picks up the fourth personal foul. Katie checking in for her. Madison Wild. Look at the captain at the line, Luke Tomlinson.
And Luella Tomlinson here with the first of 2 free throws. She hits the first. And that's her 5th point now. Very quiet day for Tomlinson. Really struggled to get going today, but she has fought hard. She definitely has fought hard, and that's her 6th point. But as I said before, she's found other ways to contribute, but it definitely has hurt the Tigers not getting the usual scoring out of her. And Watman out to Whittle. Whittle on the 3-point line. To Quirk. Quirk to Ott. Ott back out to Wild. Wild to Watman. Watman back into Whittle, and Whittle continues on her merry way and now has 22 points. Conti, strong drive on the left. Great finish. Jeez. Just a one-man show today for the Tigers. Sorry, one-woman show, I should say. And Monique Conti has 30 points. Ott, strong drive. Tomlinson, good defense, but Ott, so good. Rebecca Ott and Marina Whittle in this half, since Lauren Scherf's been in foul trouble and hasn't played as much, they have just taken over this game and have
tearing it apart at the moment.
22 points each. They're just dominating, aren't they? No answers, Tigers. And Conti throws up another mid-range jumper and can't hit, and it's rebounded by Whittle. Whittle to Watman. Sorry, to Watman. Watman, strong drive. She can't finish, though, and Gray gets the rebound to Burden. Burden back to Conti. Conti gets the ball into Tomlinson in the post. Tomlinson drives in.
Great move.
Great move, and she draws the foul. And I think the Tigers have called a timeout, and it's an 18-point lead with 4.5 minutes left to the Raiders. And here we are back after the timeout with Luella Tomlinson at the line for the Tigers, looking for points numbers 7 and 8 and bring the lead back to 16 points. And she hits the first. And pretty much playing for pride now, the Tigers.
Yeah. Bit of a tough game for them today.
Yeah, I mean, barring a miracle. I mean, they really got off to a flyer, but I think they hurt themselves with the turnovers.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was probably the
Gave
biggest.
away too many boards as well.
Yep, and they've definitely struggled to stop Marina Whittle and Rebecca Ott in the second half.
Yeah.
And Ott again here with the ball. Stops on a dime, turns around and hits again. She just can't miss at the moment. She's got 24 points now. And no one above 11 points besides Monique Conti today for the Tigers. Great pass. And Tomlinson is able to finish. And they haven't been able to do much of that today, that's for sure. That's the easiest bucket Tomlinson's had all day, exactly. And she's up to 9 now. And Watman out to Whittle. Whittle to Quirk. Ott steps back for 3, and she finally misses. And Burden gives the ball off to Conti. Conti up to Tomlinson in the post.
I mean, there needs to be more movement from when Tomlinson gets the ball from the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like right there, get the open shot there.
Yep, and Brianna Gray's able to hit her second bucket and go to 4 points in the lead. Now 15 points for the Raiders. And Watman swings the ball around to Wild. Wild back to Watman. Watman out to Ott, who has been on fire in this quarter. Back out to Watman. Watman for a deep 3. Can't hit. And the rebound is secured by Molly Matthews. And she swings it out to Monique Conti. Conti looking to push the pace here.
Ooh.
Nice crossover and bang for the mid-range. What a move by Monique Conti.
Very skillful.
Absolutely. She's got 32 points. She's had a great game today. Lead down to 13 now to give the Tigers some sort of hope. Can they get a stop here? Ott swings it around to Watman. Watman gets to the mid-range jumper and can't hit. And another stop. And the Tigers need to push the pace here to give themselves some sort of chance. Conti with the ball again. Conti driving in. Swings it back around to Brown and Gray. Gets it to Tomlinson. Tomlinson. Double team as she has been all day. Gray for 3. Can't hit. And, oh, well done by Tomlinson to Molly Matthews, who can't hit the layup. And it is a jump ball. And it will be the Raiders' ball. And golden opportunity there for Molly Matthews. Wide open layup, but could not quite finish. And the lead remains at 13 points.
And the Raiders aren't laying up, they just keep pushing on.
Actually, yeah, no, absolutely, they definitely have been doing that all day. And the Tigers locked shot onto the ball, so my mistake, I said it was the Raiders. And Brown and Gray will bring the ball in for the Tigers. And she gets the ball into Casey Burden. Drives to her left and can't quite finish on the layup. And continues a tough day for her. She's been held scoreless. And Watman for the mid-range jumper. Can't hit. Rebound to Lucy Dawson. Swings it out to Quirk. Back out to Watman for 3. And again she can't hit. And Quirk out to Rebecca Ott. Rebecca Ott is fouled by Monique Conti.
Monique Conti picks up her 4th personal foul. Checking back into the Tigers, number 8, Katie Bugden.
And Katie Bugden and Altea Angeles checking back in for the Tigers. And Marina Whittle to bring the ball in. Brings it into Watman. Watman. Round back to Whittle. Whittle drives in. Gives it to Ott. The hot hand in the second half. Beautiful crossover move, but good defense. Can't finish on the layup.
Offensive rebound.
And a shot clock violation. Good defense by the Tigers. As Ott's shot never hit the rim. And a minute and a half left here. And what can the Tigers do? They'll need a couple of quick threes to give him any sort of hope. But I don't know if they've really got any at this stage. But good pass there by Conti into Tomlinson in the post. Nice move, and she draws the foul. So she's been pretty aggressive in this last quarter, Llewellyn Thompson, to get herself going a little bit. But unfortunately for Tigers, it's been too little too late. But she will look to get herself into double figures here with the free throws.
Tomlinson, 2 free throws to go.
And she hits the first. She now has 10 points. And she nails the second one, and the lead now 11 points with 1:20 remaining. And Angeli's with a steal. Oh, Jewel gets it to Conti. I thought that was going to be a turnover.
Yeah.
But she manages to find her teammate, Conti. Back out of Tomlinson, back out to Conti. Need to find a bucket here. Casey Burden into Tomlinson. Angeles with the floater. Airballs it. And the bucket won't count because Bugden's shot did not hit the rim. And the rebound by Tomlinson and finish was after the shot clock had gone off. And there's some sort of dispute here. Melbourne coach Christy Harawa is not happy with something there, but don't think anything's going to change. The shot clock violation stands. And Whittle gets the ball in here to Ott with 1 minute remaining. Ott swings the ball over to Watman. Full court press here by the Tigers, but the Raiders handle it pretty well.
That's what they needed a little bit earlier on.
Yeah.
Press up.
And Whittle draws the foul and will shoot for points 23 and 24. And Whittle hits the first, and now it's 23 points.
Well, heading into the next game, there's definitely a lot of areas for the Tigers that they can look to improve on. And, yeah.
There definitely are. The keys being turnovers and offensive boards, I think, at this stage. Yeah, but, you know, they'll take a lot out of this. The Raiders are a good team, and they have, you know, at times really pushed the Raiders. I mean, they were on top early, and they definitely had a chance to win this game, but they just need to take better care of the ball.
That's right.
And number 5, Leah Santamaggio, checks in here for the last 30 seconds for the Raiders. And she swings the ball around to Ott, who's defended by Bugden. Ott has been an absolute star today for the Raiders with 24 points, leading the scoring for them, along with this woman, Marina Whittle, who now goes for the mid-range jumper, can't hit, and Conti, who's been the star for the Tigers today with 32 points in a losing effort. And she lines up from 3, makes that 35. So she's yeah, I mean, she's had a phenomenal game, but unfortunately hasn't quite had enough help today. And that's the tail of the tape, really. And Rebecca Ott gives it into Dawson, who hits the layup, and the lead's back out to 12 with 2 seconds left. And that's the game. So the Tigers go down by 12 points to the Knox Raiders with Monique Conti, a wonderful solo effort in a losing performance with 35 points. But the twin scoring stars for the Raiders in Rebecca Ott and Marina Whittle, too strong with 24 points apiece, and the Tigers go down by 12 points to the better team on the day. And that'll be all for now. We'll be back shortly with the coverage of the men's game.